Welcome to Credible Perspectives, a podcast supported by Credence Africa. And this is the very first episode of this podcast where we're discussing women and wealth and have our very first guest, Miss Yvonne Darcq. Thank you so much for honoring this invite.
I am honored.
Our very first guest in this podcast, yet another podcast. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Who is Yvonne?
Yvonne Darcq is a multifaceted woman. She is diverse and in everywhere that she can possibly engrave herself into.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I need more.
I am first and foremost a singer, songwriter, performing artist. I am a businesswoman. I am in many fields in business, but then I am also in farming and coffee, the coffee industry. I am a philanthropist. I am a humanitarian. I am a period activist. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am a fearlessly bold woman. And I don't believe there's too much TMI.
Yeah.
We have the internet in today's world, so there isn't any too much TMI.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Do you have the same 24 hours as we do?
No. My 24 hours are like 100 hours all boxed into 24 hours. And I don't sleep as everybody else does.
I believe you. I believe you. That's a lot to manage in one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this series that we're doing is called Women and Wealth.
Yes.
And that's why we brought you in here to have a conversation on women and wealth. And so my first question to you is, how do you define wealth?
How I define wealth? Wow. In my industry, money is wealth. But again, in my industry, mindset is wealth. The health of your mindset is the most valuable player.
Okay.
And for me, the biggest wealth you could ever get is from knowledge and applying it into your life and wisdom. Now, let me just quickly break that down for you.
Please do.
In life, we have lessons, okay? What we define as fear.
Yeah.
Okay, or rather what has been defined to us by society and the norm of society, which is called fear, is actually the unknown. All right?
Yeah.
So what happens when the unknown smacks you? You get a, which is defined as fear.
Yeah.
But it's actually just merely a lesson. And with time, that fear fades out, and then now you start seeing the lessons that were ordained for you to learn from. And then now you start ticking off the red flags and start turning them into green flags, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you apply lessons in your life, because nothing is given to you on a silver spoon, and if it is, you don't understand its value, but you understand the value of a lesson. When you apply the lessons in your life, it equals to knowledge.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have the best knowledge, but don't apply it in their lives. So someone will come and give you all the grace in lessons and teach you everything that seems to be tech savvy, book savvy, life savvy. But when you look at them, you're like, iki kagamia kinanipatia information na ikijiangalia hata they don't practice it in their life. So what we normally call the hypocrites, right? Have the best information, but they don't apply it in their life. So there's a lot of people who have knowledge. But now what is wisdom? Knowledge applied in your life then equals to wisdom.
Okay.
Wisdom practiced in your life equals to success. So that is how I draft out life in general and wealth.
Okay.
The goal is the success from the wisdom applied in your life. That for me is wealth.
Okay.
Because money comes and goes, but knowledge and wisdom is the ultimate wealth, because you can fall as many times as you can without wanting to financially. But what will pick you up is the lessons in life, the knowledge, the wisdom. That is what wealth is for me.
That's very interesting. And so before I go back to wealth and how you've defined wealth as both money and mindset, I'd like to hear your definition of success.
Success is peace of mind.
Oh, okay.
Now, how do you get peace of mind? I am a perfectionist, but I've learned over years to be perfectly imperfect and imperfectly perfect. So I've learned to accept whatever wave it comes and how it comes and how it decides to play itself, because I'm a Christian. I believe in God. And it's been a journey because for someone in the secular industry, we are deemed as the devils, right? And then so trying to understand God, trying to understand the path of Christianity or just in general, religion. And trust me, I've done my research. I've been in different scenarios and different religions before getting to this point, and which is very important to do your research and to align with what works for you and what doesn't. But I came to understand everything is written in the Bible and we are living in the Bible. The only difference is we are not wearing those clothes. But as my father always tells me, the times change. The only thing that changes in the times is technology and fashion. But fashion also is circular. It comes back in motion. The hipsters will still come back, right? And so that's the same way I look at the Bible. And one thing is I've learned my peace of mind. Because the Bible is a scary movie. It's a horror movie if you pay attention to it. But it is a depiction of life. If you take the situations and the scenarios, they are in the modern day just with different characters, different names. Right? But the storyline still remains the same.
Okay.
So for me, it's peace of mind. And peace of mind is only generated personally. You have to personally find your peace of mind, personally understand yourself, personally understand what is your wealth, what is your character, what are your yeses and nos, what are your rights, your personal rights. And then understanding to truly love yourself from who you really are, because we change every day. Every second we change. Our mindset changes from the information we receive. We grow, right? And so just accepting yourself without society's infusion, that finding that peace of mind is what is the most valuable player to me as well.
I need you to speak more, and especially to our younger sisters and brothers who I feel are struggling a lot with societal pressures. Some that exist, some that do not. But how can they build this courage or this confidence in themselves where the world does not necessarily shake them? What can you tell them? What in your experience can you use as an example to show them that they can be confident in themselves?
First of all, y'all have the internet. We weren't born into the internet. The internet was brought into our generation, the millennials, right? So problem number one y'all have is y'all are gullible. You fall for anything you see on social media, be it a trend, be it whatever. It's because you were born into it. So when we say you're gullible, we're not attacking you. We just have a different perspective and mindset. Y'all come and tell us, y'all are just kichwangumu. Yeah, of course, we were called the black sheep of our generation because we actually learned to say no. But we're being chapwad. So respectfully understanding when to say no and when to shut up. But you guys go through a lot of society pressure that we went through, but on a hybrid note. Because everything now is about the trends. You have a 20-year-old or a 16-year-old, fine, we used to have Sweet 16, those things of MTV channel or things that we would watch from TV trying to give us pressure. And we're looking at our parents like, when I turn 16, you're like, when you turn 16, what? You're like,
but I feel like the certain category.
No, but you see, it was the creative mindset. You're like, hey, my friend.
And what we were
and then we were absorbing what we were seeing, but that was the TV. Now imagine the internet is everywhere. It's what I call the wisdom tree of today's generation. There's the good and the bad, okay? But now the problem is they can't define the difference. There's too much in society, peer pressure within what I call modern day clans. There's the school clans. There's the university clans. There's the trying to fit in, because we all went through that peer pressure. Now, let me break it down for you. Between the age of 0 to 3, your family setup is your family setup. So you just live. Don't even remember much. From around, let's say 3 to about 10, you're now entering school. You're now starting to play with society, friends, if you're in a compound or in a bigger compound, or relatives, and then meeting friends through relatives. And now in school, trying to hang in to crowds. There's now dance routines, nail routines for girls, haircut routines for boys, hairstyles for girls, fashion routines for small kids, right? So now these kids are all of a sudden manipulated into a system.
Yes.
Okay? It's not the parents' fault. It's just the way the system is.
Yeah.
I always say your parents raise you the best way they can. Okay? Then now you're in school.
Yeah.
10, you're turning now into preteens. You want to be cool. You want to chill with the cool girl squad or the cool boy squad, right? You want now your hormones start checking in. So now you start getting all these things, these emotions, these feelings, these body feelings as well.
And changes as well.
And changes, right? And then some people change quickly, others don't. Some get menstruation quickly, others don't.
Yeah.
Then now you enter proper peer pressure of the gangs. You don't even know yourself. You don't know what you like, but you know what everybody else wants or likes. That's why I say start. Start differentiating what works for you, what doesn't. And be firm in saying no. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be loud about it. Just say no.
Yeah.
Accept and say, I don't want to do it. And you're not going to bully me into doing it. There's a lot of bullies out there. Bullies stem from people who are unhappy, because we could talk about bullying on a whole different episode. I'll be back for that. But bullying starts from somebody having probably home issues. Remember, education starts from home, not school. School is just an added educational platform. Education starts from home. So you don't know what somebody's going through. The way they mask it is come and release their anger on their peers. Okay? Accept not to take it. Say, I don't want staki energy zako. Pole, you don't want to talk about it. You might smack me for trying to ask you what's going on, but then also be remorseful. Understand what remorse is. And just be gentle to that person. Always be gentle to a bully. Do the reverse. They want you to blow up. They want you to give them a reason to continue to be a bully, because they're stemming their energy from elsewhere. They don't even know what they want. They're just filled with negativity. What adds negativity? Negativity. What simmers down negativity is positivity. Positivity is the hardest thing to maintain and apply daily in our lives.
That is true.
Okay? So that same setup continues between now, 13 to 18 gets worse. Then 18 now to 25, you're in the wilderness, because now you're either trying to figure out life on your own, either you're living with family or not. Maybe you've started a job, maybe you're in your university trying to track down a career, realize you have less time for friends, you have now more time of realizing life, changing your society's crew, friends and stuff, shifts. You find yourself either with work friends or university friends, still don't know nothing about yourself, because we were never taught by society to learn ourselves. So again, look into who you are and what you want, so you don't get put in to society and norms, which again stems off from bullying, because people who don't know themselves tend to bring in others who don't know themselves, and there's different energy characters. So you'll have people who are very dominant and negative. Then you'll have people who are very dominant and positive. They don't sit together.
Of course not.
And people who are very dominant and positive don't even care about crews. They're solo walkers. So you will find yourself attracted to the negative. The negative always attracts very fast, because you'll find that you need to prove yourself or to be proven of your worth. So again, that's a society oppression. So by the time you hit 25, 30, you're now like, I'm done. By the time you enter 30, there's a whole different now ball game of trying to understand yourself. You're like, society says I'm old. Society says I'm not good enough. Society says my time is up. Time where? Where are you old? You're just... 30s is the new 20s, because 20s, you didn't know nothing. 30s, you now start understanding my rights. I'm putting me first. Always learn to put yourself first. I always say, who am I? Put yourself first. Now that you have this information as the younger generation, do everything we didn't do, because we didn't have anyone to give us that information. Put yourself first in every scenario, so you can be the healthiest, so that you can love others the best way you can, and spread your love. Right. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. What I'm hearing, and we might end up veering off completely, but we'll come back to the wealth conversation, is that a lot of these things start at home. And so we need to be very careful with how we nurture ourselves and our children. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. So let's go back to wealth and mindset. How have you invested in these two elements of wealth by your definition?
When you're saying wealth, are you talking about financial?
Yes, you actually said wealth. Wealth is in two aspects for you. Yes. So there's the money bit and there's the mindset bit.
Yes.
How have you invested in both?
So first of all, let me tell everybody, don't expect to be a millionaire. In fact, that's what I needed to even say on the last point, is the whole generation, this younger generation expects to be in a Range Rover or Ferrari at the age of 20. My friend, you don't even know what it's like to earn a coin or to be taken through the wilderness to earn a coin. You have no understanding of the business world unless you are the 0.00001% that your parents either nurtured you through it or you just luckily fell onto it, your luck, right? So there is no expertise. I think COVID taught us a lot about businesses shutting down, businesses reshuffling, the industry completely changing, whether it's music, business, finance, every diversity of any form of making a coin had to change. So I believe we're in a new era.
Yes.
Especially also now with the world recession financially and us also going through it with the new governance and the financials, like we're all in the wilderness after COVID, right? And trying to bring ourselves back. So I would not say let's bring ourselves back. We're in a new era. So we're in a new. The mistake we're all doing is trying to go back to something that's non-existent. Everything changed because now all of a sudden we have AI empowered. AI was there, but then now it's AI hybrid.
Yes.
Okay? So what I would advise when it comes to finances is understand the financial world. Do your research in your industry, whatever industry that is that interests you. And if today you're all about banking and then tomorrow you're all about, because I know right now, the investment industry in banking or finances in terms of assets is going haywire. Whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's oil, whether it's gold, Trump is trumping. I'm watching those things and I'm like, hey guys, this is not the time to invest. Just pause and watch because you will lose a lot of money because it's within seconds, right? And so what I would say is research and take your time in everything. Don't get bullied into peer pressure of bullied into peer pressure of society and the online fake facade. I need you all to understand the internet is interneting. Everybody just shows a story, a facade, an imagination, a dream. None of it is their true daily lives. No one is showing the ugly of their true lives.
For sure.
And so we're all being swallowed into society because we're on the phone 24/7. We're there. A minute you have to breathe, you're either on WhatsApp, you're on Google, you're on Instagram, TikTok. You're absorbing things because you also go there for emotional upliftment or what we call music is the most absorbed form of anything in the world. It's bigger than politics, it's bigger than religion, it's bigger than everything, right? So what happens when you're low emotionally? You go listen to sad songs. If you're angry and aggressive, you go listen to, and you're like, yeah, guys, I'm right, you know? And then after you're done with yourself, you're like, okay, I'm glad I'm over that. Now back to factory settings. When you're in a happy, loving mood, you go listen to that. When you're in the bedroom mood, you go listen to, you know what I mean? So it's the same with business. You have to understand the emotions. It's the same with the internet. You have to understand the emotions. You have to detach from your own emotional perspective and your morals. And you now have to understand the business morals, the business world. And same with the society, online social media world. Because everybody's showing a story. So you have to understand not to get attached, get inspired. Let me give you a perfect one. The travel guys. You go and see the travel videos. You're like, my God, today someone's in Maldives. I'm like, wouldn't I want to live that life? But that's not their daily story, but that's their daily bread. Get the difference? So same thing with algorithms. If you're entering the industry, you want to go online, don't let the algorithms fool you. It's all a business fund. Remember, social media has to make money. Those companies need to make money. How do they consume and control you? You have to pay for spaces to have your stuff advertised so that you can get growth, you can get more followers, you can get more investment. They're not going to give that to you for free. They're not there for free. So of course, they're going to mess with your algorithms and make you invest in paying certain things. Another thing is be very wary of the popularity you think people have.
Yeah.
Okay? And be wary of what actually does returns. Understand that the industry in whole is a scam. Not just social media, just everything. But that's what we call policies. So that's why I tell you, if you get emotionally invested, you'll be scammed. You have to get business invested. Understand the business front of everything so that you can make your buck, your coin.
Okay. So I hear you say that we need to invest time.
Yeah.
We need to invest in our knowledge.
Yes, which is research.
Yes. Yeah. And we need to also invest in ourselves, in that we need to consume less media or social media and find out the truth for ourselves.
Yes,
right?
of course.
Okay,
and everybody's
awesome.
truth is different. Your truth is different from mine. We could be in the same industry.
Yeah.
But what you will receive from it, what you will learn from it is different from mine, which takes me to the next level, which is communication. We need to share communication. We're too much like this. Fine, we're learning, absorbing, but we're also forgetting a very key pointer that made society survive and the world survive to the point which is now, which is communication.
Yeah.
We really learn from each other's communication because the communication from each other is real life situations. It's not made up fallacies. Because when you and I talk, I'll be like, girl, let me tell you the nitty gritty, the bad. But then I won't say the bad on social media.
Yeah.
But when we're having conversation, I'll get down and dirty and tell you where I was dragged through the ghetto. Wacha nikwambie chenye nilipitia. Nilienda huku na huku nikapitishwa hivi na hivi. But on social media, I'll be like, oh my God, everything is just so amazing. You know, it's so perfect.
Yeah.
Like, my life is so content, girl, please.
So then, now that you've brought that up, have you ever been banned
on social
while
media?
investing? Yes, through social media, if it's through social media. I mean, you're an artist, yeah? In all ways possible. Have you experienced a banning of some sort on something that you had invested in?
Burning in what do you mean?
What's a bad story that you have
invested in?
Yeah. Have you lost money somewhere?
I think everybody loses money here and there. I can't
have you been conned in this Nairobi?
Oh, yes. Not just in Nairobi, but in general. When you're learning the industry, you get conned. That's what I mean by the lessons. But don't fear it. I want everybody to learn something from today. Stop the word fear in your head. Define what fear is. What emotionally is it to you? It's the unknown. So see it as the unknown and stop giving it a word of fear. Because even in the Bible, God says, fear me not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this whole thing of fear is a way of controlling society. Making everyone just enter a cube and be like, oh my God, I don't want. No. Yeah. How about you learn what the situation is, grow from it?
Yeah.
Okay? So, I mean, I've had music stolen from me. I have had people sell my music and I couldn't do anything. I've had people use my image from big companies, use my image in different countries, different borders. Didn't even know until way later. And couldn't do anything because I didn't have the financial backing to hire the big lawyers to make the case.
Okay.
So I was told, my friend, just take your losses before you enter kotini. Hauna yo pesa ya kucheza nao on the big leagues.
Yeah.
You will find yourself either the whole story is turned on you, you will lose everything, be in debt, either disappear or find yourself in jail. So you want to enter the big sharks, you best make sure your nickel is on the big sharks league. So I have experienced every part of my career, business or journey losses. But I take them as the lessons because without that information, without that lesson, I wouldn't be able to understand the notion of where I need to be. I've had awards stolen off me. Yeah. Paid off and told, yo, this person paid. Can you pay bigger? And I'm like, so this is how the industry is? Oh, I didn't know.
I'm learning as well today.
And I'm talking about international awards.
Wow.
And I'm not going to mention them because I ain't trying to look for drama.
Yes.
Please, I enjoy my peace. But I will also say
the honesty. You don't have the big back to look for lawyers to
I don't have that
you.
time to waste to enter a fight. What's the point? I don't want to. It is the way it is.
You really are choosing peace.
Of course.
Every
Because
day.
it's still going to continue with or without me.
That's true.
I'm not saying I'm fearful of it. No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not going to waste my time because I should have done it then.
Yeah.
I can't bring back that time.
Yeah.
But now I have the knowledge. I understand. So for me, nominations are the biggest award.
Oh.
Because you have been acknowledged. You have been seen. And even if I don't get the nomination, my fans are my biggest award because they relate. They feel I have touched their souls.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in the limelight, is to change the lives of others. I don't need to be given a golden award or something to be told, oh, now you have meaning. No.
Yeah.
I already had meaning even just from the first fan who ever encountered me and said, wow, you changed my life. Thank you. Right? I'm not doing what I'm doing to get people to give me value. No, trust me. There's a sacrifice when you come into the limelight, meaning you come and everybody has the right to speak about you because there's freedom of speech. So everyone can rip you to shreds. Mimi nimeitwa malaya kwa Inange Street, sijui nimeonewa sijui wapi. I mean, the things I've seen, the things that have been sent to me on social media, like you're just like, where? Like, guys,
That's
really?
where you learn things about yourself through your social media.
I'm like, wow, I wish. Or the things people have said, even big scale businessmen saying things about me. And I'm like, wow, I really wish.
Yeah. But how do you protect yourself from not being so deep in your feelings when you see such things?
I learned that, and I teach my children this every day. I know the truth, right?
Yeah.
God and I know the truth, right? People will always imagine and assume. People will give out what they wish they had, the envy, the jealousy, or turn it into negativity to give themselves credit and acknowledgement. That's a them problem, not mine.
Oh, okay. Okay. I like that.
I don't have to please anybody. I don't have to prove anything.
Yeah.
Because I know myself. Watch I imagine. Watch I imagine ajibambe. Because at the end of the day, atanitoka ataenda kwa mtu mwingine.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll be seen for who they are.
That's true.
And their reputation will be destroyed. If we stop fighting the negative, then the negative will cure itself on its own. It's simple. But the more you invest in the negative, the more you give it fire, the more you give it fuel, and the more you make yourself look like a fool. You can't fight an idiot. You become both idiots. No one knows who's the idiot in the room.
Yeah.
So why are you taking it personally? Yeah, it hurts. But why are you letting it hurt you? Because someone had you in their mouth? People are always going to have you in your mouth. When you're doing something right, when people are seeing something they're envious of that allows jealousy, when it sparks someone's brain, then of course someone's going to talk trash about you because they want what you have. They're jealous of you. So I had to learn a long time ago just to let it go.
Okay.
Because I would find myself in situations I would regret. And I would be like, why did I allow myself to drag myself down that road? Now I have to do damage control.
Yeah.
So something that could have just been ignored, I now have to rebuild myself for 3 months to get back to the mindset I had. Just let it be.
Okay. So by your definition, then I think you're a very successful woman because you choose peace every day.
Yep.
And your definition of success was peace.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So with that, how are you...
But it's peace in my own way.
Yes, definitely. Is there one way to define peace anyway? But
No.
we don't even need to go into that.
There isn't. I think peace is defined by your character and what is peace to you personally. Yeah.
Okay. Lack of conflict in you.
Yes.
All right. 2 last things. Finish the sentence. A wealthy woman is...
A wealthy woman is an unstoppable woman.
Okay. I love that.
Yes.
Is an unstoppable woman.
Yes.
All right. I know you're big on affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any for us today? Can look at the camera and give our girlies.
My affirmation and my motto is always expect the unexpected in a positive light.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And let that be your motto. I'll give you a second one. Always live on the edge of the seat because when you get comfortable, the couch swallows you and you stop living. The biggest... No, let me ask you something now. As the last.
Wow.
Yes.
How has the host turned to the
because
interviewee?
we have to enjoy.
Okay, go ahead.
Where is the wealthiest place on the planet?
Where is the wealthiest place in the planet? In my heart or in my mind? Or do you mean...
It can be physically and spiritually.
Africa is the wealthiest continent, if you want me to go in that direction. Spiritually, I think it still boils down to what's in my heart, what's in your heart.
So physically, we know financially Africa feeds the world 10 times over. It has all the minerals and everything, and that's why we're at war.
Yes.
Conversation for another day.
Yes.
But it's the graveyard. Because a lot of graveyards are full of potential that were never met. Remember, wealth stems from wisdom. Potential is unmet wisdom, unmet success, equaling to unmet wealth. Don't die without finishing whatever it is you wanted. Yes, you will always have something new once you finish. There's always going to be, but accomplish as much as you can.
Okay.
Hence why live on the edge of the seat.
I like that. I like that. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
Where can we find you? Where on socials
you
can
can
we
find me? Very simple. You can Google me. You can Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. YVONNEDARCQ. Yvonne Darcq. DARCQ. Guys, it's about time we get it. It's been 22 years. DARCQ. Twendeni kazi. DARCQ. Sing it with me. DARCQ.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Mzungu
Thank you. Mzungu
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And it's a wrap.